Hey, that's uncalled for. That's totally uncalled for. I don't do that to your bookmark. That's uncalled for. I don't do that to your bookmark. I wait till you're done with the book.
Hey everybody, it's Dave and Olive. Thanks for joining us here at Book Blather, where we talk a lot of fantasy, sci-fi, horror, but also mix it up with all other kinds of fiction and non-fiction as well. If you haven't yet, please remember to hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so that you get notified when we upload videos. So today we're doing our August wrap-up, which is late, but what else is new? We read a good assortment of different types of books this month, so let's just jump right into it. So we're going to talk about these out of order that we read them for a couple reasons. Number one, I didn't want to start on a negative note, but also I'm pretty excited to talk about this one, Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I think this is actually not his real name. His real name is similar, but it's for some reason this is just the name that they've been putting at least on the American versions of these books. This one I have seen on people's bookshelves behind their booktube videos for like a couple of years now, and I always thought, hey, that looked interesting just from seeing the cover and the name, but never picked it up until now. I don't know why. We loved this book. This book was so great. This may be my favorite book of the year. Our favorite book of the year. What this was about is this is set. It's a science fiction sort of opera, I guess. It's set in the way future. This is sort of after humanity has already reached a pinnacle. What was the Empire, and then kind of went through an ice age and regressed a little bit. And so the language has completely changed, technology has changed, humanity got kind of bottlenecked, and so they're just now sort of trying to rediscover some of the older technology. So they're advanced, they're more advanced than we are today. I mean, they're flying spaceships, but they definitely have retreated some from the empire that they once were. So they're part of what this story is about is their sort of quest to rediscover some of that. So really the story starts out in the future, but not quite this far in the future. It's really right in the beginning, so it's not really a spoiler. We're kind of shown the setting of we have a what's to be a colony planet, a planet we've terraformed, and there's a scientist orbiting this planet, and they're about to begin an experiment where they have a evolution accelerating virus, and they're going to send this virus down onto this lush new planet, along with some monkeys, and then monitor what happens over a long time. And of course, it doesn't quite go as planned. And so they launch this experiment, but things don't go like they expected. And then we kind of jump into the future where sort of some of the last remnants of humanity have escaped the dying Earth, and they're on a spaceship that was a little decrepit, but they're in hyper sleep or whatever, cryogenic sleep. And so a long time passes while they make this journey to this planet. And so then most of this story is told from a couple of different perspectives. Number one, it's this spaceship that's on this generations-long odyssey, and a lot of different things happen. And it's told mostly from the perspective of Holston, who's somebody that he's called a classicist, and he's originally considered a very unimportant member of the crew, but he is an expert in languages, and so that becomes very important, and he becomes, of course, a critical character, communication becoming a key aspect of this story. And then we get some perspective from the planet, and I won't go into too much more about that. And a little more complicated, not just the planet, But and so you sort of, it's sort of this space spanning, time spanning, evolutionary spanning tale that was just really awesome. It was filled with a lot of great ideas. And you get, and I just love science fiction stories that where they show you sort of long time, they explore long time evolutionary developments, and this was really really cool. And like I said, probably it's a tough call, but maybe our favorite book of the year. We're already into the second one, which is Children of Ruin, which we'll be talking about soon, no doubt. But yeah, one of my favorite science fiction books that I have read, probably the favorite book of the year, and I would highly, highly recommend this. Okay, the next book is My Name is Human by Rob Shepard. And this is as you can see, very short, independently published book. This is about a man that basically brings home an advanced AI, and it's kind of like kind of like the movie Her, right, where you have this sort of advanced technology that he develops a relationship with, but of course the results are very, very different from Her. It's a science fiction horror, and I can't really say too much more about it other than that, because it's a very short book. So unfortunately, we really didn't like this book very much. The story was okay. I will say it did have a pretty chilling ending, and but it was, I guess, somewhat original, very predictable, but like I said, it was very short. My real problem with it was the writing. I mean, it was, and I hate to give reviews like this, but the writing was pretty bad. I can give you an example here. Right on the back cover, it's when a lonely businessman decides to invest in his company's technology. You can see it's plural companies, not possessive companies like it's supposed to be. And if that's right on the cover, it gives you an idea of what it's like inside the book. The really very actually irritating type of errors, just rampant misuse of commas, and not using possessives and things like that. That stuff that like made it actually pretty irritating to read. So I know a number of people like this, and I think some people may listen to it on audio, and it's probably better on audio. But it was pretty. Sometimes I could be a little critical with writing quality, but this was pretty replete with errors, and so I was a bit surprised. It almost looked like something went wrong, like it was like dictated and not proofread. How much there was. So, hate giving reviews like that, but we're always honest here. I mean, that's kind of the point of giving reviews. So I wouldn't say not to read it. Like I said, it's so short. You may want to read it anyway. I mean, you'd be through it very quickly, and like I said, it did have a chilling ending. It wasn't like the story was bad. So, and I don't know if this author's other books are like this. I haven't read any of them. This one, like I said, definitely needed an editor, but maybe his other books do, and they're great. Probably pretty decent stories with an editor. So, that's the review of this one. Okay, the next book that we read was just a popular thriller called The Wife Between Us. This is by two women, Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah Pekkanen. Hope I pronounced that right. Totally not our normal kind of read. For some reason, I just saw it. This was kind of like our salacious dirty little pleasure book this month. We just felt like reading a book like this, and this one looked pretty interesting. It was called a psychological thriller with unforgettable twists. And it was pretty good. I mean, I would, like I said, it's not a normal type of book, so for that reason, I'd probably give it like a 3 or 3, maybe 3.5. This story was about so there's this woman. It's told from a couple different perspectives. There's a woman that has had a failed marriage with this man, and this what appears to be very rich, charismatic guy. That's good catch, and he is getting remarried to another woman. And so you see the story from a couple different perspectives, as the one is kind of desperate to interfere with what's going on. It's hard for me to say too much more than that. The book, it was fun and it was a fast read. There were several different major twists in the book, and they were different. They weren't just your normal plot twists. These were very different kinds of twists about the story, and that's all I can say about it. But it was pretty cool, the way it happened. So I would, like I said, it's not the best book that I've read this year, but I would recommend it if you like this kind of book at all or want to try this kind of book, because it was a neat read, and I was surprised that it had a couple of those twists that I didn't see any of them coming. So it was, and maybe if I was more experienced with thrillers, I don't know, but this was a good read, and yeah, I'd recommend trying it out if you're into this sort of thing. Okay, and the last book that we read was Bad Ronald by Jack Vance. And this we read because this was the group read over at Juan's channel, Plagued by Visions, which I'll link below. And this I actually did a spoiler discussion with Juan, which I will link below. So I will just give a brief non-spoiler summary of what the book is about for those that don't know yet. So this is an older book. It was actually turned into a movie in the mid-70s. What this is about is there's this Ronald, who is a teenager that seems a little bit precocious in certain ways, but also very socially awkward. And he, he's having a tough time talking to some of the other kids, and he gets pretty frustrated and has a very violent experience with a young girl on the way home. And so when he gets home, he lives with, it's just him and his mother, his overprotective mother, who loves her boy and thinks he's the greatest thing and plans for him to become a doctor. And so when he tells her what happened, she is convinced, of course, that this is all an accident, and they're going to cover it up. And so what they do is they build a secret room under the stairs in the foyer, I guess it was. And it was like a bathroom, and they cover it up and turn it into a secret living space for him. They put a cot in there. It has the bathroom in there already, and they have a little hole in the pantry and the kitchen where she can pass him food. And what happens relatively early in the story is that his mother, they're going to hide him until they can save enough money, and they're just going to tell everybody that he ran away and hide him until they save enough money that they can both just leave and start a new life. But unfortunately, that doesn't go as planned, and something happens to his mother, and the house is sold while Ronald is still living there. And a new kind of traditional American nuclear family with 3 daughters moves into the house, and Ronald continues to live in this secret room while they're living there. And so a lot of crazy stuff happens from there. It's pretty disturbing book at times, but it's also it's really on the edge of your seat book. I thought, I mean, some people thought it dragged a little bit, but I didn't. I thought it really moved, and it was one of those books where I was really constantly anxious to get right back to it, because it was pretty exciting what was happening on. You always wanted to see what happened next, and so that's all I'll say about it. I really can't say more without spoiling it, but I would definitely recommend this book. Like I said, a little disturbing at points, but if you're okay with that, it was a good read. I'd probably give this book a 4, maybe even a 4.5. But probably more like a 4, but I would recommend it. It was really good, and it was really interesting to watch what happened in this pretty unusual scenario. Okay, so that's everything. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, along with the notification bell, so that you get notified the next time Olive says it's okay for us to upload another video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon, but in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.